guard, number 1, Radcliffe. Starting at guard, number 3, Lovett. Starting at forward, number 20, Thomas. Starting at guard, number 23, Cope. And tonight, for the Monroe County Falcons, starting at guard, number 11, Braxton Walker. Number 11, Braxton Walker. That'll be his first, team's first.
Take it to the top of the circle. Right side to Payne. In the corner, shot up, no good. Rebound on the floor. Picked up by Monroe County. Mink with it. Comes across the line and gives it over to Dyer. Out front, Mink drives, gets cut off. And a jump shot up, air ball, no good. And it will go to the Wildcats. They bring it the length of the floor. Lovin to Radcliffe, and up the floor the Wildcats come. We played a little over a minute and no score. Everybody a little bit tight here to begin with. Radcliffe drives, gives it to Lovin at the free throw line. Back to Payne. Payne to Dokes, a long three-pointer up, in and out, no good. Rebound taken by Thomas. Thomas will bring it back out. Gives it to Lovin. Lovin, he'll shoot a long three, and it goes. Tavian Lovin with the first basket of the season for the Wildcats, a three-pointer at the 6:17 mark. Mink inbounds it to Walker. Walker works to the right side, back over to Mink. Mink on the left wing, drives to the top of the circle, stops, goes inside to Dyer, gets caught, can't get a shot off, back out front to Mink. He fires a three-pointer up, no good. Rebound by Thomas. Thomas gives it up to Radcliffe. Down the floor, the Wildcats come in a hurry. Back over to Thomas. Thomas back out front to Payne, to Lovin. Lovin looks the floor over, misses a guy going through the middle, and gives it back to Thomas. Thomas to Payne, back to Thomas down in the corner. He drives for the basket and gives it back out front. Everybody thought he walked, and I did too, but they didn't call it, so he didn't. Jump shot up by Lovin, no good, and rebounded. Down the floor comes Monroe County out front to Walker. Drives in, and a foul called on Tavian Lovin, his first. Called a blocking foul on him. Coach not liking that call. All right, inbounds. The Monroe County Falcons give it to Mink. Substitute I'll tell you about in a minute on the left side. Jumper up, no good. Payne with the rebound. Utsi in the ball game, and Thomas comes out to Lovin, top of the circle. Takes a dribble underneath, throw it away. That was a pretty quick pass. It zipped right by Utsi's ear as Tavian really whipped it in there. 3-0, Wildcats with the lead. And we're approaching the halfway mark of this first quarter. Jump shot up from the side, good by Dyer. 3-2. Radcliffe across the timeline. Backs out, puts a jump shot up, no good. Wildcats not running much offense, just firing the three-pointers up. Dyer all the way down in the corner. Shot partially blocked, I think. Payne tipped it. Shot partially blocked, but it went in anyway. As Massengill gives the lead to Monroe County. Halfway through the first quarter, 4-3. Monroe County with the lead. To Lovin. Taven drives all the way in, puts a shot up, no good, but he's fouled. Foul called on Mink. Taven Lovin to the free throw line. He'll be shooting 2. And got it. Score's tied at 4. And checking into the ball game, D. Ragland for the Wildcats. And Payne comes out. Taven back at the free throw line, up and got them both. Wildcats retake the lead at 5-4. Walker in the backcourt will bring it up. Passes on the left side to Dyer. Dyer back out front to Walker. Walker still dribbling. And a 5-second call. Great defense there by D. Ragland. Was all over him and couldn't get rid of the ball and just kept dribbling. So the Wildcats bring it the length of the floor, leading at 5-4. On the left side to Dokes and back out to Utsi. He puts a jumper up from a free throw line. No good. Rebound. And all kinds of people hitting the floor. And foul called on Wildcats on Utsi. All right, inbounds to Walker. He'll bring it up across the timeline. 5-4. Wildcats with the lead. Give it to Mink. Mink gets double teamed. And back over on the left side. Jump shot up. Good. Massengill with his 4th point. And Monroe County takes a 6-5 lead with 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Their second lead. Oh, nice pass from Lovin to Radcliffe. Radcliffe puts it up and in. Wildcats retake the lead at 7-6. Assist goes to Lovin. Out front, Walker. And then on the baseline, then back out ball tipped away, but Mink gets it back on the baseline. Jump shot up, a three-pointer, good. By Dyer. And a 2-point lead for Monroe County at 9-7. A 30-second timeout called.
Enters lineup for the Monroe County Falcons.
Inbounds it to Trey Radcliffe. Radcliffe and Ragland and Dokes and Utsi on the floor for the Wildcats. Lovin over to Utsi. Looks at the three in the middle to Ragland. Ragland backs it out to Dokes. Dokes on the left side to Utsi. And it goes to Ragland back out front. Utsi drives, has it slap loose. Picked up though by Ragland. Nice defensive play. And they throw it away. Down the floor comes Mink. drives, has the ball taken away from him by Dokes. Radcliffe picks it up. Radcliffe gives it up to Ragland. And a jump ball call from way back up the floor. And that will go to the Falcons. Will Moody to check in for the Wildcats. Inbounds it comes to Messingale. Almost stolen, but back over now to Dyer. Dyer down in the corner to Messingale. Messingale drives to Mink. Ball kicked by Lovin all the way back out, and Will Moody checks into the ball game. And Dokes will take a break. Wildcats still just a little bit uptight here, and Mink throws it in. Lovin almost stole it, and it is stolen. Ragland picks it up, and he's fouled from the back. And that foul is on Spears, who checked in the ball game, his first. No, he's one of the starters, I'm sorry. First time he's touched the ball. All right, Radcliffe out front, gives it to Utsi. Looked at the three, didn't take it. Threw it away. Threw it right into the hands of Messingale. Messingale still dribbling underneath. Shots up and good by Spears. 4-point lead for Monroe County. Utsi with it, drives, gives it to Radcliffe. Radcliffe brings it back out front to Moody. Moody to Utsi. Utsi gives it to Lovin. Lovin drives in, gives it back out to Utsi. He fires a three up short. Mink with the rebound. Nobody under there but white jerseys. And ball almost stolen by Utsi, but they pass it back out. 3-point shot up, no good. Rebound taken by Utsi, and he traveled. And checking into the ball game for the Wildcats, Sam Blackwell, and also Dakota Thomas checks back in. First sub is Brooks for Monroe County. All right, Monroe County with Dyer. Back over to Mink. Can't get a shot off. Back to Dyer down in the corner. Has to dribble it out and gives it back to Dyer. Dyer dribbles it back out. Gives it over to Mink. And kicked again, this time by Thomas. Trying to go inside with it. And Payne will check back in. And Taven will check out. 11-7, Monroe County with a 4-point lead. Have to chase the ball all the way down the hallway there. 28 seconds left in the first quarter. Mink inbounds it to Dyer. Dyer will bring it across the timeline. And back over to Mink. Dribbling with it, top of the circle, and backs it out near the timeline. The Wildcats back up, and he passes on the right side to Dyer. Dyer gets double teamed, back to Mink. Tries to go inside and back out front and back to Mink. Top of the circle to Dyer on the right side. Long three-pointer up, good. And 14-7, the Wildcats trailing it here at the end of the first quarter. We'll be right back. You're listening to Wildcat Country Sports. Just one was all I wanted there. Whenever you can give it back to me. I'm sorry. My fault. Wildcats trailing it 14-7. They've got the ball. Ragland brings it across the line on the right side to Will Moody. Moody looks inside, gives it back to Blackwell. And back out front to Thomas. Thomas dribbles, gives it to Moody, looks at a three, gives it back to Blackwell. Blackwell to Payne. Payne drives. Moody in the corner with a three. No good. Rebound. Tip. And an over the back call. Foul called on Payne. And starters back in the ball game for the Wildcats, except for Blackwell stays in and Dakota Thomas checks out. Payne, Lovin, Radcliffe, Dokes, Blackwell. On the left side they go to Brooks. Brooks back out front now to Dyer. Dyer drives. I had to walk or do something with it. No call. To Mink, looks at the three, gives it over in the corner to Dyer. Dyer drives, shots up, and a foul called on Blackwell, his first. Sam picks up his first, 15-7. I think they added a point on me there during the halftime. And a foul. Yeah, 14 was right.
Yeah, 14 is right. I got the wrong score.
How'd they add one up there?
14-7.
Well, he doesn't know how to take it off the clock. Well, I looked at that and I thought I had written it down wrong. I don't have Mr. Thurman here to help me. Hope he's feeling better. All right, there we go. One of the assistant coaches came down and got everything right. Now then, Falcons with the ball, trailing. The Wildcats are trailing by 7 points. We go into the second quarter. Mink with it. And he gives it up and then gets a return pass on the baseline. Jump shot up, no good. Radcliffe with the rebound. Wildcats on the run. Stops at the free throw line. Jump shot good. Trey Radcliffe with his 4th point. Cuts it to 5. Mink still dribbling it. And to Brooks. Brooks drives the baseline. Shot up, no good. Rebound by Lovin. Taven down the floor to Radcliffe. All the way down, puts it up. And a blocking foul called as Trey went right around him. Mink picks up the foul. That's his second. And Trey Radcliffe will go to the free throw line for the Wildcats. Wildcats showed a little bit of loosening up on that one when they came down the floor. A little bit uptight here tonight, first game of the year. And Radcliffe at the free throw line. Puts it up. Got it.
Basket's good by Radcliffe.
Walker checks back in and Brooks checks out. And Spears checks in and Nixon checks out. Radcliffe back at the free throw line as Thomas gets ready to check in for the Wildcats. Shot's no good. Cut the lead to 4, 14-10. Played 2 minutes into the second quarter. Dyer with it, tries to drive. I thought he was going to call a foul, but he changed his mind. Oh, he didn't change his mind. That's a terrible call. Radcliffe picks up the foul. And Clemens checks in.
Clemens enters lineup for the Falcons.
That's for Monroe County. And Massengill tries to get it in, gets it into Dyer. He's down in the corner. And it's off of the hands of Monroe County. Good hustle by Radcliffe, and Lovin will toss it in. Radcliffe with it, brings it across the line, gives it to Payne. Payne out to Dokes, a three-pointer up, got it! See that one coming, folks. Carlisso Dokes with a three, and it's a 1-point lead now for Monroe County. Almost stolen by Radcliffe. Got into that passing lane real quickly. 5:42 left. 6 points in this quarter for the Wildcats, and Monroe County has not scored. Dyer with it out front. Tries to drive, cuts off, gives it to Dyer. Dyer gets double teamed. Ball stolen. Payne all the way down, drives, lays it up, good. Payne with his first basket on the steal in the basket. Wildcats lead is 1. Across the line is Walker. Wildcats chasing him underneath, shots up and good. As Clemens gets the basket. First basket in this quarter. And down in the corner, Thomas brings it back out. Waiting for someone, gets it to Radcliffe, and then over to Lovin. Taven to Dokes. Dokes out behind the 3 line. Gives it to Radcliffe, to almost stolen, but Lovin comes up with it. Taven stops, puts a jumper up, good.
Basket good by Lovin.
7 points for Lovin. The Wildcats retake the lead, 17-16. On the right side to Clements. And ball stolen by Lovin. Heads for the basket all the way down and slams her down. First slam dunk of the season to give the Wildcats their biggest lead at 3 points. And timeout, a full timeout by Monroe County. We'll be right back. You're listening to Wildcat Country Sports.
Full timeout, Monroe County Falcons.
Into the ball game for the Wildcats is Utsi along with Dokes and Taven taking a break. Payne and Radcliffe and Ragland. Wildcats with full court pressure here. Ragland and Radcliffe in the backcourt along with Ragland, and they're making Walker work hard, drives all the way down, jump shot up from the side, no good. Rebound by Payne. Brings it down. Wildcats in a hurry. All the way down on the knee, shots up, no good. Tip Utsi, no good. Rebound knocked loose by Utsi, and still having trouble getting it up the floor. Walker with it, rather. Brings it across the line. Dribbles up to Mink and then backs off, still dribbling. Walker with it out front. 19-16. Wildcats with a 3-point lead. And the jump shot partially blocked. Slapped around, shots up good on the rebound by Spears. His 4th point. Had his shot blocked, and Wildcats looked like they were waiting for it to come down. And Payne up with a shot, no good. Rebound by Monroe County. Dyer with it all the way down, gives it back to Mink. Mink turns, spins, Ragland on him. Gives it back to Dyer. Back to Mink. Shots up, no good. Rebound by Reglan. Over his back, no call as Radcliffe picks it up. And then up to Raglan. Shots up by Dokes, no good, short. Mink brings it up. And Dyer drives in, shots up, no good, rebound. Ball on the floor, Dokes with it. 1-on-3, drives all the way down, puts a shot up, no good. Tipped up and in by Radcliffe, I'm sorry. 21-18. And a foul call on the Wildcats.
Foul number 11. Let's see, it'll be his second, team's 6.
16 foul by the Wildcats. All right, Falcons with the ball. 2:26 left in the second quarter, 21-18. Wildcats with the lead. On the right side it goes now to Dyer. Dyer passes back out front to Walker. Back to Dyer, puts a jumper up, no good. Rebound by Raglan. All the way down on the baseline. A jumper up by Utsi, in and out, no good. And Lovin called for the foul. That's his second.
Foul number 3, Lovin. That'll be his
Utsi out and Thomas back in.
7.
That is the 7th team foul, and so Monroe County will go to the free throw line. 21-18. Wildcats with the lead at 2:02 in the second quarter of play, and Taven Lovin will come out, and Kyler Pritchard checks back in for the Wildcats. Pritchard, and the free throw's up, good. By Massengale. And the second one, good. Kyler Pritchett with the ball, brings it across the timeline. On the left side to Radcliffe. To Dokes, a long three-pointer up, got it. Alysso Dokes with his second three. 23-20. Timeout on the floor. Raglan and Pritchett and Radcliffe on the floor for the Wildcats. And looks like a little full court pressure here by the Wildcats, man to man. And Mink with it, trying to get it in. Does get it in finally to Walker. Raglan on him, gets it up to Mink. Mink back to Walker. Raglan out front on him, almost stealing it. And Mink back with it now on the left side. A three-pointer shot up, good. By Dyer, that's 3, and the lead is 1 for the Wildcats at 1:20 left in the half. Dokes with another long three-pointer, no good. Rebound in the corner, and well, they give it to the Falcons. Coach Spitzer unhappy. And Walker with it in the backcourt. Still dribbling with it. Gets it across, double team. And a foul called on Dokes. Coach Spencer working the official.
Walker at the line shooting 1 opponents.
1-1 at the line for Monroe County. Shots up, bounces, no good. Rebound brought down. Now that's the foul, and they called it. That will be on Massengill. Massengill's first.
Fouls number 21, Massengill. That'll be his first, team's fifth.
Only the 5th team foul for Monroe County. 1 point lead for the Wildcats with 53 seconds left in the first half as Radcliffe brings it across the line. Gives it to Dokes, looks at the three, drives in, puts a runner up, bounces, no good. Tip, no good. Thomas with it. And the foul call on Walker, his second. Radcliffe will put it in play, comes in deep to Pritchard, puts a jump shot up, bounces, no good. And the backcourt with it, Walker brings it across the line, Ragland working on him. And gives it on the left side, looked like he walked, no call. Massengill with it. 24-23, 1 point lead for the Wildcats. Almost stolen, down in the corner underneath to Sparks. There's a three-pointer up, pass, shot underneath, good. And Radcliffe, they give it to Dokes, a long three-pointer, no good. And Monroe County leads it at the half, 25-24. We'll be back with the work the first game. And the ball belongs to Monroe County to start the second half. They lead it by 1, and it'll be Mink to pass it in. And looks for someone to get it into, gets it into Spears finally. And back to Walker. Walker threw it away up into the stands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. Young lady up there wasn't expecting that. And Lovin inbounds it to Radcliffe. Lovin, the only player with 2 fouls for the Wildcats. Several have 1. To Radcliffe out front. To Dokes on the left, to Thomas. Thomas gives it to Lovin. Looks things over, ball kicked. And foul called on Tavian Lovin, his third. Boy, they're not letting him play. Those 2 guys bumped. Both of them going after the ball, and the 2 guys bumped, and they called a foul. I guess they're not calling a kick ball anymore. Ball out of bounds. Falcons put it back in play. Dyer with it. Give it to Walker. Over to Mink. And a long shot up by Dyer is a three-pointer, and it's good. 4 threes for him, total of 14 points. Lovin drives in, gives it back out to Thomas. Thomas to Dokes, to Lovin with a 3, no good. Gets his own rebound and shovels her down. 28-26. Falcons with the lead, and Dyer has the ball stolen by Lovin. Down to Radcliffe. He drives in, lays it in good. Ties it at 28. Ball knocked out of bounds. And it'll go back to Monroe County. Now full court pressure by the Wildcats. Mink with it. Still in the backcourt. Gives it up to Dyer. Dyer drives. And back to Mink. Mink looks at the 3, doesn't take it, gives it back to Dyer. He fires up a long 3, good. 15 points, 17 points, 15 of them threes. Inbounds to Radcliffe, to Payne. Payne gives it out to Dokes. 3-point lead for the Falcons to Lovin. And Thomas with a three from the corner. Dakota Thomas ties it at 31. Mink brings it across the line, gives it to Dyer. Payne out on him. He gives it up to Massengill. Massengill back to Spears. Out front to Dyer. Gets double teamed. Back to Mink. Give it to Walker. Over to Dyer. Then back to Spears. Spears to Mink. A long three-pointer up good. Another 3-point lead for the Falcons. They've been pretty hot with 3-pointers here in the third quarter. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Underneath to Lovin. Takes it and down it goes. On the baseline, he just slammed her down. 1-point lead now for the Falcons. Across the timeline comes Walker. Taven out on him. Gives it up to Massengill. Ball stolen. Payne all the way down. Drive, puts it up. That's good, and a foul. Payne with the basket.
Fouls on number 21, Massengill. That'll be his second.
Massengill gets his second foul, and Wildcats with a 1-point lead, and Payne at the free throw line as UC checks in, and Thomas comes out. Nixon checks back in for the Falcons. Payne at the free throw line. Eyes it, puts it up, and too long. 1-point lead for the Wildcats, 35-34. Pressure by the Wildcats as Mink's got it across the line, drives, gets double teamed, gets it back. Gives it to Spears. Out front, Dyer with a long three-pointer, no good. Utsi tips it to Lovin, to Payne, drives, puts it up, no good. Rebound. Oh, my goodness! Wow, what a terrible, terrible call. You have got to be kidding me. Our guy gets fouled, and on the rebound, the guys go up side by side. Taven gets his fourth personal. So, here we go. 1-point lead for the Wildcats halfway through the third quarter. Walker brings it up the floor to Dyer. Dyer gives it out to Nixon. On the left side, it goes to Dyer, back to Mink. He walked. No call. Gives it back out front, ball stolen, and Utsi with a foul. Wow. My goodness. In the backcourt, it comes to Walker. He'll give it over to Dyer. Dyer drives. There's the ball stolen from Payne to Dokes. Dokes down the floor in a hurry. Dribbles back behind his back. A three-pointer up. Good! Carlisso Dokes with his third three. 38-34. Biggest lead again by the Wildcats is 4. Walker brings it across the line. He'll dribble it. Gives it to Mink. Mink fires one up. No good. Payne gets it. Passes it into Moody, who checked into the ball game. Moody back to Dokes. Dokes, top of the circle. Down in the corner, Moody, a three-pointer, no good. Rebound taken by Payne, but say he was out of bounds. Thomas checks back in, and Utsi will check out. Thomas, Moody, Radcliffe, Dokes, Payne on the floor for the Wildcats. Leading by 4 with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Walker drives down. A long three-pointer up by Dyer. Good again. In the corner, Payne. He drives. Gives it back out to Radcliffe. He fires a three up. No good. A rebound. Taken by Walker. It's a one-point game. The Wildcats with the lead. In the middle. Shots up and good, and a foul. Foul called on Payne. That will be his second. As Utsi and Blackwell and Ragland check in for the Wildcats. Payne will check out. Moody will check out. Thomas will check out. 1 point lead for the Falcons. And Dyer at the free throw line. He'll put it up. Good. And the lead back to 2 for Monroe County. 2:27 left. Utsi drives in and he gets fouled. Heading for the basket. That foul is on Walker, his third. And the second team foul in this half. Dokes to pass it in. Still looking in deep to Ragland. Back to Radcliffe. Radcliffe tries to drive, pulls it back out. Looks for Blackwell, not there. Looks for drives in. And Walker picks up his fourth. And checking back into the ball game, number 21 is Massengill. All right, Radcliffe gets it into Utsi and knocked around. Radcliffe couldn't get a handle on it, and Dyer comes up with it. Mink underneath, shots up and good, and a foul from the back. Dokes gets his second foul. Can't argue with that one. And Massengill with the basket. 4 point lead for Monroe County again, and he can give Monroe County their biggest lead if he can hit it. Shots up and good. 43-38, a minute 58. Wildcats up before just moments ago, and drives in. Blackwell drives the baseline, puts a jumper up from the side. No good. Utsi up and in. Mink down the sideline, and ball almost stolen by Utsi. Dyer with a long three-pointer up good. Six-point lead, the biggest by Monroe County with a minute 24 left. Ragland with a jumper, no good. Rebound. Ball knocked around. Utsi get it, sticks it back in. Lead at 4 now. And cross courts it. Mink with it. Throws it in the middle. Shots up good by Nixon. Lead back to 6 with a minute left. Monroe County red hot. Wildcats are helping them with a few things, but they are shooting the eyes out of it. Radcliffe, 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Wildcats trailing by 6, 48-42. And Radcliffe drives in, puts a shot up, no good. Rebound by Nixon. 28 seconds left in the quarter. 48-42 to Dyer. A little bit far out from him, maybe. He's out near the timeline. Gets it over to Mink. Mink back to Dyer. Dyer down in the corner. And back out to Mink. 10 seconds left. Mink drives, passes in the corner. Sparks a shot up, no good. Rebound by Blackwell, and a foul on the back by Monroe County on Nixon.
It'll be his first, team's fourth.
And 1.7 seconds left. And then it comes to Ragland, fires up a long three-pointer, no good, just short. We go into the fourth and final quarter, and a 6-point lead by Monroe County, 48-42. We'll be right back. You're listening to Wildcat Country Sport. Seven of them, 21 of them on the three-point line, and they haven't been right on the edge of the line either. He said some from a couple of steps back. So Wildcats with the basketball need to go to work here. It is Ute and Ragland and Radcliffe and Dokes and Payne. And a 2-3 zone in the corner. Ragland with a three-pointer up. Got it. D. Ragland with his first three of the season. They turn him loose, he can hit them. Lead at 3 now, 48-45. Wildcats with some pressure. Mink brings it up the floor, gives it to Dyer, back to Mink. Mink looks at the three, turns, spins, tries to go underneath, and knocked loose, but Mink back with it again, drives in, gets cut off, cross courts it now to Massengill. Good defense on him by Ragland. Down to Spears, back to Mink. Mink drives, shot blocked by Ute and knocked right back underneath, no good, rebound. Spears and a shot up, and said the foul was on the floor, no basket. And Payne picks up his third foul. Taven Lovin set to check back in. He's got 4 fouls on him. And Ute will come out. No. Dyer drives in, gives it to Mink. Mink drives. Over on the left side, a long three-pointer up, no good. Tip up, no good. Rebound. And Monroe County guy had a... And we get a technical foul. Well, Radcliffe is called for the technical, which counts as a... These guys have let this thing get out of control. All of a sudden, it was a real nice ball game going on, and now Dyer's at the free throw line to shoot the technical. He hadn't missed much tonight, and didn't miss that one either. And get the ball. I think that they called a personal foul also on somebody from while all of that was going on, but who knows? 50-45, a 5-point lead. Ball stolen, drives, lays it up and in by Ragland. 50-46. Wildcats playing defense right now. Up the floor it comes. Stolen again by Lovin. Taven pulls it back out. Gives it to Dokes. Over to Radcliffe. Drives in. Puts it up. Slow. Dunked it. It's good and a foul. Wow. They made us mad. Trey Radcliffe with the basket and goes to the free throw line. And now it's a 1-point game, and the Wildcat fans are fired up now. So full timeout. We'll be right back. 6:33 left in the game. The Wildcats going to the free throw line, trailing by 1. We'll be right back. To throw it away. And shots up, partially blocked, tipped, and up into the stands it goes, and it'll belong to Monroe County. 52-49 the score. 6 minutes left in the ball game. Falcons are leading our Wildcats. Pretty good time out there by Coach Kirkpatrick because the Wildcats were eating them up alive for a couple of minutes. Into the backcourt it comes to Walker. Raglan on him. Gets it across the line. Gives it up to Mink. Mink drives. Looked like he walked. Shots up. Shots good. Massengill gets the basket. The lead back to 5. 54-49 with 5:46 left. Over to Lovin. Taven drives. All the way down, stops, puts a short jumper up, no good. Tip, no good. Tipped again by Payne, no good. Radcliffe with it, and coming out of there with it is well, that poor guy just can't referee. I mean, it's 1-1 already for Monroe County. And Dyer shoots 1-1. $54-49. Monroe County with the lead. Shots up and good. I don't remember him missing a shot, to tell you the truth. Bounces the ball. Still heading. 56-49, lead at 7. That's the biggest lead that Monroe County has. And Radcliffe over to the right side. Payne with it now. Payne drives, gives it to Radcliffe. Back to Dokes. Dokes to Lovin. Taven drives, stops, puts it up. And a foul. And Spears picks up his second. And Taven Lovin will go to the free throw line, shooting 1 in the bonus. And in the air, got it. Be back for the second one. 56-50. Taven has picked up a couple of fouls that should not have been called on him, but he's the star of the show, and the officials don't let him play while he gets the fouls. So the lead back to 56-51, 5 now. He walked, ball slapped loose, and picked up. Dyer's got it, goes right down the middle, shots blocked, and it goes in anyway. (58-51), 4 minutes left. Lovin puts it up good. And a 5-point lead. Timeout on the floor. This will be a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. 58-53, 5-point. And Mink will inbounds it. Wildcats will put full court pressure on them. Need to go on a run here as Mink has got it. Looking to get it in. Down in the corner it goes to Massengill. Dokes on him. And to Walker. Pushing off all the way down the floor, but he almost got on that line. And down in the corner to Massengill. He brings it back out to the top of the circle. And to Mink. Mink drives, gives it over to Walker. Walker drives in the middle, gives it to Mink. A long three-pointer up good. (61-53), 8-point lead, biggest for Monroe County. Three-pointer up, no good. Rebound by Mink. Ball on the floor, knocked out of bounds. It goes to Monroe County. .351 left. Wildcats down by 8. And Massengill inbounds it deep. Hadn't been touched yet. Now clock starts with Walker in the backcourt. Gives it across the line to Massengill. A shot up, no good. Rebound by Lovin. Taven on the run. All the way down. Stops, goes around, puts the shot up, no good. Gets his own rebound, puts it up, no good. A rebound by Mink. 3.5 minutes left. Wildcats down by 8. Mink with a long three-pointer, air ball. And bounced right to Spears, put it up, no good. And it's off of Monroe County, and the Wildcats will have it. Need a basket here. Inbounds to Dokes, back to Radcliffe. Radcliffe across the line. Drives all the way down, gives it to Lovin. Taven backs it out. Gives it to Dokes, to Payne. Payne drives, gives it out to Radcliffe. Backs out. Need to get a shot. They get it, and it's good. D. Ragland with a three. 56-61 now. 61. Ball almost stolen by Ragland. Across the line, Walker down in the corner. Back over to Mink. Got him on the line and pushed off. No call. And Dyer with a long three-pointer, no good. Ragland with it. Lovin all the way down. Passes to Payne, puts it up and in, and a foul. And Payne is down on the floor. He was hammered hard.
That'll be his first, team's 8.
61-58, Wildcats trailing here with 2:28 left. Eyes the basket, puts it up. Oh my goodness, hit the front and just bounced up. Wow, bad shooting luck. Lead at 3 for Monroe County now. Mink with it out front. Gives it over to Spears. Spears looks for Dyer, can't get it to him. And back out front to Mink at 2 minutes. And Mink with it. Now ball lost. Lovin with it. Dribbles behind his back all the way down. Goes in, and it's foul. He ran under him. That should be an intentional foul. As Lovin will go to the free throw line. But, man, he got in the air, and he ran under him. But Taven at the free throw line here. We need these two very badly. Ute to check in. And in the air, no good. Well, let's see. That's in this half. Lovin the only one to hit free throws. We've missed 3 already, which would have tied it up. But Taven back at the line. See if he can get this one to go down. Puts it up. Got that one. And the lead is 2 now with 1:59 left. Monroe County still in the backcourt with it. And up the floor, and the ball is knocked loose. Shots up and good by Messengill. Lead back at 4 to Lovin. Taven with it. 1:42. Need to get some movement here, guys. In the corner, Ragland, a three-pointer up. No good. Rebound by Ute. Gives it back out to Dokes. He looks at a 3. Gives it to Radcliffe. Back to Dokes. 1:26 left. Lovin with it. Heads for the basket. Turns, puts a shot up, and a blocking foul called. And that's exactly right. He took a quick step and went right around him. Lovin will go back to the free throw line. Massengill's fourth. 1:22 left. 4-point lead for Monroe County. It has been a battle over here, my friends. Taven at the line. Puts it up. Got it. A lot of iron, but down it went. Lead at 3 now. Ute comes out, and Pritchett checks back in for the Wildcats. And Taven at the line. Puts it up. No good. Rebound. Taken by Mink. Mink across the line. Gives it on the right side to Walker. Walker out front. Gives it to Mink. Mink dribbles. Gives it to Massengill. 1:06 left. Wildcats need the ball. They give it over to Walker. Got it in, Falcons in the deep freeze. Throws it over to Spears, cross courts it. And coach trying to get them to do. Ball slap loose. They give it to Lovin. Taven all the way down. Stops, puts it. It's good! And the foul. Foul called on Mink, who ran under him once again. Taven with the basket. And he gets the free throw. He can tie it up with 48 seconds left. Four out of 6 from the line for Taven Lovin. And folks, he played most of this game on the bench because of some fouls that the officials stuck him with. He can tie it up right here, and in the air, no good! Rebound to Monroe County. 1 point lead for Monroe County. Ball still in the backcourt. Ball stolen. Ball on the floor. And a jump ball called. .37 seconds left. 1 point lead for Monroe County. They have the basketball. Got to play some defense here. And timeout called by Monroe County, a full timeout. 1-point lead for Monroe County. The Wildcats trailing by 1. 37 seconds left. We'll be right back. You're listening to Wildcat Country Sports. Kentucky University in the state championship game against Johnson Central. So tied at 64. Here we go. Mink will hand it in bounds. The only free throw that Dyer missed. All right. Inbounds it comes. Walker with it. Brings it across the line. Gives it over to Mink. Mink almost loses it. Turns, spins, puts it up. He doesn't put it up. Passes it back out to Mink, to Dyer. Shoots one that is no good. Bounces over the backboard. Didn't even hit the rim. We're in overtime. We'll be right back. You're listening to Wildcat Country Sports. Let's see, it is D. Ragland with 8 points. Utesy with 6. And out of his 6, none more important than the last 2 that tied it. Wildcats with excellent defense with 14 seconds left. And so we're in overtime. And the toss in the air goes to the Wildcats. Loving with it. Taven will walk it across the line. Goes to the right, turns, spins, puts a jumper up. Good. Wildcats have got the lead at 66 to 64 if they're going to put them up. And they finally do. That guy doesn't like to put points up for the other team. All right. Out front, Walker gives it to Mink. Mink turns, spins. Good defense, Bedokes. Passes on the baseline now to Nixon. Nixon back out to Mink. Mink drives, passes underneath to Nixon, back out to Mink. Drives in, pushes. He walked, did something, ball on the floor. And a timeout called by, I don't think he had the ball, but he got a timeout anyway. It'll be a 30-second timeout. 3:20 left in overtime. Wildcats up the 2.
Timeout. Falcons.
Utesy, and it is Ragland, and Dokes is the other one. All right, it'll be Mink to pass it in. Trying to get it into Dyer in the corner, and they have to call another timeout. So this will be a full timeout. Wildcats up for 2 in overtime. 3:20 left. We'll be right back. You're listening to Wildcat Country Sports. And the Wildcats back on the floor. Once again, Lovin, Utsi, and Raglan, Dokes, and Radcliffe. All right, here we go. Mink to pass it in again. And trying to get it in underneath, and they can't do it. Finally get it in. Shots up, no good, but a foul on the Wildcats. And that will be Radcliffe's third because he got a technical. And Nixon, no good. Wow.
Nixon's is the line shooting. Foul number 12, Raglan.
Back for his second one. Puts that one up. That one is good.
Basket's good.
Wildcats with a 1-point lead and the basketball, and they give it up to Lovin. Taven across the line. They're in the zone defense. Drives for the basket. Stops, puts a jumper up, bounces, no good. Rebound to the Falcons. Wildcats up by 1. 2:50 left in the game in overtime. Out to Mink. Mink drives all the way down, puts a jumper up, got it. Now the Falcons back in the lead by 1, 67-66. Raglan drives, gives it to Dokes, a long three-pointer up, no good. Rebound to Monroe County. No rebounding and missing a shots. Ball slap loose. Raglan with it, gives it to Lovin. Drives around everybody, lays it up, it rolls. Good! Taven Lovin. Wildcats back up by 1, 68-67. The soft shot that rolled round and round and finally dropped in. Out front, drives in, passes it back out. Shot, stops, puts one up off the glass, no good. Rebound by Lovin. 1-point lead in the ball for the Wildcats, 1:50 left. Taven across the timeline. 2-3 zone by Monroe County. And so now they go to a man defense. And Lovin out front, heads for the basket, stops, puts a jumper up, got it. 3-point lead for the Wildcats, 70-67 with 1:20 left in the ball game in overtime. Out front, Walker with it. Mink heads for the basket. Lost it out of bounds. It'll go to the Wildcats. Now a 3-point lead for the Wildcats in the basketball with 1:14 left. And Taven across the line with it. He's got all 6 of the points in overtime. And they spread it out. Taven drives for the basket, passes underneath. He wasn't looking for it. Oh, man, you got to pick that ball up. All right. Utsi out, and back in is Kyler Pritchett. And timeout called, a full timeout by the Wildcats with a 3-point lead. Monroe with the basketball, 58 seconds left in overtime. We'll be right back. You're listening to Wildcat Country Sports. Wildcats with Some defensive guys on the floor now. D. Ragland and Dokes and Lovin and Pritchett. And a jump ball call, and that'll go to the Wildcats. No, goes to the overtime. Good defense for the Wildcats. All right. Massengill with it, trying to get it in, has trouble. Gives it back out to Mink. Mink gives it, fires up a shot that is really short. Down the floor to Dokes. Dokes gives it back to Lovin. And a foul called. So Lovin will go to the free throw line. And I believe he'll be shooting 2 now. It's a double bonus, is it not? And fouling out is Walker. Did not score. 34 seconds left, and Taven with 2 free throws here. See if he can knock these down. Clements checks into the ball game. And Lovin back at the free throw line for a couple. Eyes the basket and puts it up. No good. Wow. Might have some free throw practice coming for the Wildcats come tomorrow. Back at the line and the basket. Good. 4-point lead. 71-67, 30 seconds left in the game. We're in overtime. Mink will bring it across the line. Defense for the Wildcats now. I almost threw it away. Mink, 21 seconds left. Mink stops, fires it over in the corner. A long three-pointer up. Good by Massengill, a three-pointer. And now it's a 1-point game. 11 seconds left. And back to Lovin. And so with 6.4 seconds left, the Wildcats will have the ball at midcourt. Now they say right in front of the Metcalfe County or Monroe County bench. We're going to keep it right here. Well, Coach tried to call a timeout forever and didn't see it. And as soon as we get a guy breaking away, the official looks over and gives him a timeout. And I'd say they're probably going to foul somebody as soon as this ball goes in bounds. Wildcats leading by 1, 71-70. And Massengill with a big 3. That is his first 3 of the night. But if the Wildcats had hit their free throws down the stretch here, we would have a nice lead. But only 6 seconds left in the game now. And the Wildcats with the basketball, leading by 1, 6.4 seconds. Dokes will inbounds it. All right. Dokes inbounds it, gives it to Lovin, and they foul him immediately in the backcourt. 4.9 seconds left, and Taven goes back to the free throw line. Shooting 2 again in the double bonus. All right, eyes the basket. Puts it up, got it. 2-point lead, 72-70. With the way Monroe County hits threes, you're not safe here, even if he gets this one, especially if he misses it. In the air, got them both. 4.9 seconds left, 3 seconds left. A long shot up, no good, shots up. It's no good, the Wildcats win it. 73-70 in overtime. And I'm going to tell you, they are lucky to come out of here with the win. We'll be back with the wrap-up for you right after these messages. You're listening to Wildcat Country Sports. How many do you like having it even? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I just have 2 more to make it even.
How many?
2.
2. Okay, that'll be good, I think. He's headed back up this way with stats. Remember to record now.